Hi, this is Steve, K8BZ. The simulated emergency test was last weekend and I wasn't able to participate. So for a substitute for participation in that, I'm going to take the two messages that were provided by the section emergency coordinator, John, WB8RCR, and I'm going to put those in a packet radio system that will automatically forward them through 4 stations. And we'll just try that out to see how that works, forwarding a couple of messages for the simulated emergency test. Now, the state or section emergency coordinator provided 2 messages to us to be forwarded. This is one of the messages. It was provided on this form here. It's a state form for a resource request. Let me resize this a little. It's a resource request form. The basic scenario was that an earthquake damaged a zoo. A lot of dangerous animals escaped. Some are injured, and assistance is needed to locate, capture, treat, and shelter them. The text of the message is identical in both of these, but they are simulating that they're coming from 2 different locations, one in Lansing and one in Millington, and that the reporting locations where assistance is required is in 2 different locations, and they're originated by 2 different individuals. So portions of this message, the text mainly, is identical. So what I've done is I've put the identical text in Notepad where I could just select and copy it and paste it into the messages just to save time in creating the messages. So the first thing we need to do is create these 2 messages, and we're going to use a packet radio emergency communications program called Outpost Packet Message Manager. This program is available free, download from the web, and this wasn't just a program that was created and neglected by the creators. This program is kept current, it's updated, it's free, it's kept debugged, and occasionally more features are added. It's very easy to use. Once you get used to it, it works very much like an email. So we need to create 2 messages that are supposed to go to the state EOC. So we're going to click this new button up here to create a new message, and it needs to be a National Traffic System message. So we're going to click NTS, and it brings up an NTS message creation form, and we're going to use this form to create our messages. Up here where the message number goes, Outpost automatically assigns the next available message number. That's what the 2+ signs there indicate. If you just want Outpost to assign a message number, you just leave that as is. If you want to put in your own message number, you can just overwrite those pluses and put in your own message number. We're going to leave this with a precedence of priority for the exercise. The available precedences are routine, W for welfare, P for priority, and E for emergency. If you want to put in formatted handling instructions, you click this button. You can scroll through the defined handling instructions. We're going to use report date and time of delivery to originating station. That's handling instruction Hotel X-Ray Charlie. And when we click apply, it's going to add that to this field in the message. Station of origin pre-fills it from the previous message. If that needs to change, you can just overwrite it. If you want to use an ARL numbered radiogram, click this box. It will bring up another form that you can scroll through the numbered radiograms. If you wanted to use this one, for example, well, let me show you first. You can switch between the 2 types of ARL numbered radiograms. These are the routine radiograms. If you click message type, it switches to emergency radiograms. If we wanted to use ARL 4, for example, which says slight property damage here, do not be concerned about disaster reports, we could apply that. It would add that to the header of the message and add it to the text. But we're not going to use that, so we'll uncheck that and delete this from the text. For the check of the message, don't fill that in. Leave it blank. Outpost will calculate the check and fill that in for you. Place of origin, it pre-fills from the previous message, which is Gladwin, Michigan. If you need to change that, you can change it. The date and time of origin are pre-filled. They take the current date and time from your system clock. Now we need to go over here and fill in the address. It's going to be state EOC. Call sign is WS8 EOC. Address is, let's see, that's 4000 Collins Road, number 1. If this isn't the current address, I'm getting this from the internet. I'm assuming that's the current address. Lansing, Mich. 48910. Phone is 517 336 6198. We'll skip the email address. Now we're going to paste the text of the message that I already copied into Notepad just to save time typing it. And then we have to fill in the reporting location that's different on each of these two messages. The first one is 7539 7th Ave. Millington, Mich. 48746. And the signature on this message is Joseph E. Botz, B-O-T-Z, with a phone 313-386-1178. Okay, now if we click check, it's going to do two things. It's going to count the groups in the message and fill in the check, and it's also going to arrange, here's the check, 48. It's going to arrange the text in 4 groups per line to facilitate verifying the check count by the receiving or relaying stations. Now if we save this, it's going to put it on a form that Outpost will bring up here momentarily. There it is. Tells us what bulletin board it's going to be sent to. National Traffic System messages in a packet system are not addressed to a call sign. They're addressed to a zip code at NTS and the state of destination. The subject line on properly formatted digital National Traffic System messages in a packet system is QTC1, the priority, the destination city and state, and the destination area code and telephone prefix. So people that are looking at these messages can only download and accept messages that they can actually deliver. And the text of the message should look familiar to anybody that handles National Traffic System messages. So we're going to save that, and it's going to put it in the out tray of Outpost. It's not ready to send yet. It won't send until we authorize it to be sent. Now we're going to make the next message, and then we'll click National Traffic System. And we're all set here. All we have to do is go fill in state EOC, WS8 EOC, Collins Road. (48910), phone 517-336-6198. Skip the email. We'll paste the same identical text that was in the previous message, but this one has a different reporting location, which is 2145 this way. Lansing, Mich. 48908. And this signature is from the phone of 269-320-9681. We'll click check, so it will count the check, and we will save it. And it'll bring up the finalized version, and we'll save that again. Now I just want to verify one thing here. Let's open this message. Make sure I have two different, yeah, we do, two different signatures, so we're good to go there. Okay, very good. Now the next thing we need to do, we're going to connect to all of the stations that we want to relay this and instruct the TNCs as to where we want these relayed, and we're going to do that with a dumb terminal program that's included with Outpost called IP Serial. So we will open IP Serial. Now when I instruct Outpost, it's going to send these from the program to my TNC. And then I want to have my TNC set to forward these to the Aranet County EOC packet station in Standish, Michigan. So let's set my packet bulletin board forward command. Right now it's disabled. So I'm going to set the PBF command to forward to KE8DMW-1 after I disconnect and every hour thereafter. So I'll verify the setting, and it's going to forward eligible messages to KE8DMW-1 on the VHF port. I have a dual port TNC after you disconnect and every hour thereafter. So we're all set there. Now I want KE8DMW to forward them to the Gladwin EOC packet station. So I'm going to connect by radio to KE8DMW-2. Now that's the remote sysop access call sign for the Aranet County EOC packet station. That's going to send us 3 lines of numbers that represent an encoded version of the password to gain sysop privileges. I have to decode those and enter the password, and I will do that. I won't do that on the recording, so we'll pick it up after I decode that and gain sysop privileges. Okay, the password has been correctly decoded, and we know we have gained sysop privileges because we get the response, which is the word prompt : which is the equivalent of the command prompt. So we can actually change commands in this TNC even though I'm in Gladwin and that station's in Standish in Aranet County. So we're going to check the PBF command, and it will tell us what the current setting of that is. It's currently disabled. PBF, we want it to forward to W8GDW-1 after we disconnect and every hour thereafter. And when I get the prompt command, I'm going to verify that the setting was changed correctly, and it was, so we're all set. So I'm going to get the command prompt in my TNC by doing a Control-C, sending the disconnect command, which is the letter D. And now we need to connect to W8GDW-2. That's the remote access call sign for the Gladwin station. Again, we need to decode these numbers and enter the password to get sysop privileges, and I'll do that off the recording. And we're all set there. I have properly entered the decoded password string, and now we can check the PBF command. Let's see here, PBF, see what the current setting is. And that is disabled, but we want that to forward to the Clare County EOC, which is KD8TUV-1, after we disconnect and every hour thereafter. We'll verify it by entering PBF and make sure that setting changed as we want it to, and it did. So we're going to do a Control-C to get our command prompt from our TNC so we can send the disconnect command. Okay, so we're all set. Now let's go back to Outpost. Now we need to release these messages to be sent. So we're going to open the first one. Now they were saved, but now I'm going to click Send. You'll see that change from a blue draft message to a black NTS, National Traffic System message that's ready to go. Same thing here. I'm going to open it, click Send, and they're set to go. When I click Send Receive, if all goes according to plan, this should send them to my TNC, which will send them to Aranet County, which will automatically send them to Gladwin County, and then they'll automatically wind up in Clare County at the EOC packet station. There are 2 messages, and we'll see how long that takes once all this is initiated. Now, before I do that, I'm going to go back here and turn the monitor command on in the terminal program so we can watch this as it happens in the dumb terminal program. So let's see if this is going to work. We'll click Send Receive. Sending them to my TNC. And now I'll get this out of the way, and we'll watch on the dumb terminal. We're just monitoring whatever packet activity is occurring on the frequency. You'll see here K8BZ is connected to KE8DMW-1, and it's sending the messages. First one has been sent. Now it's sending the second one. And after that is finished, you should see DMW connect to GDW, which is happening right now. And it's automatically sending the message. Now, if this was a string of packet stations that were enabled in each county with even a moderate antenna system and power with coverage range slightly beyond their county's borders, this kind of has to go back and forth in the 3 counties in this area between Aranac, Gladwin, and Clare. But if these were enabled in all counties, this could get through 4 counties very quickly. So let's say it's Gladwin. We could go Gladwin, Midland, Saginaw, Genesee, just this quick. And Genesee on to whatever counties they need to go through to get all the way to Lansing, for example. So maybe they would go to Lansing. Maybe they would need to go in the other direction. This is just finishing up. And it's done. You see the disconnect has occurred here. These are the unprotocol disconnect packets. I'm going to turn the monitor back off. Now let's look at what happened here at the first. Let's go right to the very end. I'm going to connect to KD8 TUV-1. We'll list the messages. We should see our 2 traffic messages there. And there they are. And you'll see traffic messages properly formatted should be addressed to a zip code. So people looking on a bulletin board for messages that they can handle can look and see if it's a zip code in their area. More specifically, they can look on the subject line and see what it is. This is QTC1 priority Lansing, telephone area code and prefix. And that reverts back to actually many years ago when these were only delivered by people that could make a local call. Nowadays, with cell phones and telephone plans, you're not charged for a toll call, you're just charged for minutes. If you don't go over minutes, it's not going to be an additional charge on your phone bill. But let's take a look at one of these messages. We're going to read message number 238. And we'll show you how these are actually saved in these bulletin boards. FCC rules require that if any message is automatically forwarded through any digital system from one station to another, the forwarding path that those messages took must also be sent along with the message. Now let's look up here and you'll see where that is. That's right here. That's the forwarding path. It's in reverse order. You'll see this is the destination station and the previous stations that handled it all the way down to the station of origin. FCC rules require that, so if the message has illegal content, they can determine who is responsible for that. As long as if you have your station set up to automatically forward and inadvertently there's some illegal content in the message, you're not responsible for that illegal content that your station automatically forwarded. The person and the operator that's responsible is the operator that first put it in the automatic forwarding system. If you are notified that they have illegal content and you continue to allow that to occur, then you can be held responsible for the rules violation, but only if you've been made aware of it. The station of origin has responsibility for that. Now, if you don't forward the forwarding path, then you also become responsible for any illegalities in the message. Now, we're going to read this a different way. We're going to do RH, which means read with headers. And we're going to read the same message, 238. This just gives you additional information about the forwarding path. What it gives you is the date and time each station received that message. Now, this station went through 4 stations, and you can, this message went through 4 stations. This could very easily be for 4 different counties, which covers a great deal of territory. You'll see this all happen, went through 4 counties in a minute. This gives you the date and time. This is 2017, 10th month, 2nd day. October 2nd, 2017, K8BZ received it at 1314, DMW at 1314, GDW at 1315, and KD8TUV at 1315. This could very well have happened. It definitely happened in less than 2 minutes. Might have been around a minute and a half. So if this message was going through a phone network over that period of time, you wouldn't have gotten these two messages passed in less than 2 minutes through 4 relays. So this is the advantage of packet radio. An advantage of using TNC-based packet radio is that you can remotely connect to set up how these messages are forwarded, where they're forwarded, based on the needs of the incident that you're involved in. So we're using this for our participation in the SET. Had I been available, we would have gotten involved and sent these over the phone traffic nets, but since we were tied up with family matters for that exercise, we'll have to let this suffice for our involvement in the SET. So thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. 7-3.